Good morning, afternoon or evening, whenever you're actually watching this. Today we've had a delivery from Banggood. So, they haven't sent it yet for me, I've actually had to pay for this. So no help from them at all, as you'd expect. And we've got some, what are these? They call them MC4 wide connectors. I think because I want to tidy up the wiring on the solar setup a bit. I didn't realise they were different genders. Oh yeah, of course they would be, wouldn't they? Live and neutral. That makes a lot of sense. There's actually it's marked with a plus and a negative there. Cool. We could make a really pointless extension lead to go that far. Anyway, first bit. Second bit. It's all to do with the next solar update. So we've got some lovely MP4 connectors. Nice chunky pins. They seem pretty good. Let's see how well they crimp into the leads. I'm going to like my the wire I use. Not the stuff the solar panels is fine, but the wire I use is a bit what do you call it? Solid strand, isn't it? So let's put some sockets all in one bag. Pins and sockets. There should be a nice fit between them, shouldn't they? Yeah, they fit really well. Good sized wings on them. Okay. Look forward to fitting them. And in here, is that it? Oh yeah, sorry, I pulled out. There's another bag of these. So I've no idea. I'm pretty sure I've got 20 pairs, so I've got enough to last a few projects. And the main thing I got, which you can probably just see taken through, is, if you haven't already noticed one over there, a second PowMr solar charge controller. Now, it seems a bit odd. Why would I get a second one? Well, originally I thought I couldn't have any more solar panels because I was at the limit of what my charge controller could do. So I wrote on here 40 amp because that's the model that I've got, or so I thought. And they give you the limitations of what you can and can't do. So it'd be easier if I put this down here and we zoom in a bit. So mine is a 24 volt system and I had a 40 amp controller, so I was allowed 960 watts panels with a maximum system voltage of, there it is, 3705 volts. If you go above that, the mppt doesn't work. Now I've seen some people running a 12 volt battery and trying to stuff like 900 watts through these things, and yeah, it takes it, but that's not really within the design scope of these controllers. So yeah, follow what they actually tell you and it'll work better. People saying the mppt tracking doesn't work very well. That's because you've ignored this graph. You've got a 12 volt system, you can have up to 720 watts, not 960. And then your PV input power is between 20 and 80 volts. You can't put 130 odd volts of solar in on 12 volts and expect the mppt to work properly. So anyway, that's the old one's book. So I heaved mine off the wall. It's not a very sunny day, so I decided to take, well, it's not a sunny day, it's the evening, it's 5:19. And I was looking at it thinking, yeah, this is my 40 amp one. I looked on the eBay listing and yeah, sure enough, skewed current, 40 amps, 80 quid. Took it off the wall and what have I got? It's a 60 amp. Why didn't I have a look at the sticker? So it even reiterates the voltages and the maximum input power. So I'm at 24 volts. I can put 1440 watts into this. Why didn't I have a look at the sticker on the back? Anyway, so now I have two. Fair enough. Can always have more power, more panels. So may as well unbox one of these. I believe the manual's been updated. They're pretty much sure these all come from the same factory. You get the Make Sky Blue ones. Now what you remember here is this is a case for a power supply. This is like you'd have this bolted on the side of your 3D printer. Let me just bring something over just to reiterate the point. Right, so here's my 3D printer. It's been evicted from the table so I could make this video. But you get the where the similarities in case design and everything come from. I'm pretty sure you could probably find a that exact metal casing being used for a power supply, and all they've got to do is stamp an extra hole in it. It could be custom, I don't know. But you see where I'm going. Back to the realms of this versus the Make Sky Blue one. I mean, it's exactly the same metal case, exactly the same button layout with a different print. Everyone says, oh, the Make Sky Blue or the PowMr's the real one, blah blah blah. But you've actually got some videos on YouTube that show a comparison. One's got a newer firmware than the other, when in reality the complete internal circuit layout and the way the whole thing works is totally different. So they're not going to have the same firmware, are they? Even if one was a newer model than the other, that the internal circuitry is different. So there you go. You pick and choose how you want to interpret that. But what we're going to do is open up my old one and just see if there's any differences between the old and the new one. I'm also going to turn the fan around because I want it to draw air in here and blow it out through the casing sides rather than it trying to draw all its air through, because yeah, I don't know, just want to try it. And this one's also got some stuff stuck in it. It's been outside for 12 months, well, probably longer. And yeah, it's 2020, April 2020, so we're already in October 2021. So yeah, it's been outside for a while. I'm not sure, yeah, as it's been out there since new. So let's get it apart. Ooh, look, stuff living in it. So let's unplug the fan, plug that one, and that one, maybe not, yeah, it's got to come on. So everything's pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, a little tiny fan, a little control board, random tape here to stop the inductors rubbing, and a big old piece of cobwebs. Nice. Get that. So if you've watched any of the teardowns of these before, you'll probably have already seen all of this. 60 or 40. Your guess is as good as mine. No, looking around, there's a fair amount of components on there. Quite clearly a substantial piece of aluminium on the back of it. Oh yeah, massive. So yeah, you might be able to see in there, but I thought it's still quite heavy. It's either a piece of alley or a solid sheet of steel. Oh, it's probably alley. It'll still be a lot heavier. Yeah, that's how it's heat sinking. Starting to regret the dreaded thermal compound is starting to get on me already. Never mind. Right, oh, let's go for free. What are we going to have? Right, another creature living. More stuff trying to enjoy its life inside. Ew, is that still alive? I don't know, it's got to come off. Away. I have removed the nasty creatures living inside of it and most of the gunk that's came across. So yeah, we've got these chunky things here. MOSFETs, more likely. Starting to get covered in thermal grease already. Yeah, I've got a little, I assume it's 5-volt regulator there or something. Some smaller jobbies, another one over here. I don't know what these components are, I can't possibly tell you. I know for a fact that that is a thermocouple. and his job is to just measure the temperature of this massive aluminium. See how easy it scratches. Big aluminium backplate. Yeah, and you can see they put that on a nice little foam pad to keep it up proud, so it does actually contact. I mean, you could say the soldering's a bit, God, it's getting everywhere already. Yeah, you could say the soldering's a bit naff, but to be honest, when you look at it, that's exactly where the legs for these massive inductors poke through, and they've done a good job of gobbing them on with a bit of the old whatever it's like. It's like silicon, but it's not quite silicon, but it feels like it's squidgy. It's probably a kind of resin or something. Like that capacitor is well stuck on. This one's lapping about, and so smaller ones. Yeah, anyway, it's just a terminal block. All in all, it's a very heavy circuit board considering how little's on it. Yeah, there we go. So what we're going to do, open up a new one. The only thing I've seen on here to give us any reference to a model number is up here, mppt v7 1948. So let's have a look at a brand new one that was made quite a bit later out the way. This is a slightly newer one. Comes with a newer manual. The warrant layout basically the same. Yeah, I mean there's not a lot of difference in there. Anyway, I'm not interested in the manual. That's the old manual versus the new one. Just change the pictures a bit. What about the inside? So let's find that page. I'm pretty sure page 6. It's identical inside. Fine, the manual was always very good. I wasn't worried about that. Bit of foam. Now you see what I mean. It comes completely covered in the packing already. Packing blue, whatever it is. I don't know if they use it to help it when they laser cut the steel work or whatever. But yeah, here's the old peel job for you. Sorry. Yeah. Anyone who likes to see a good peel, that's not a good peel. The only identification is on that sticker. So I'll get all the blue off and we'll take it apart. As you can see, I'm in the middle of having the fun. The trouble with this is the blooming sticker's going to come off with the blue, so I must have very carefully peeled that off when I got it and just stuck it on. But how did I not realise that it wasn't a 60? No, I don't know. Yeah, must be what I did on the last one. As you see, basically, well, I'm not going to show you, but I stuck it on there. I never actually read it. Yeah, they have changed the logo, haven't they? What else has changed? Let's dive in. Right. Can't remember how this opens. It's like that, isn't it? Usual game of unplug everything before you break everything. Stick it like that. Fan. Connector. New, old. Exactly the same. Same number, ESD1732_PO2 is the same on both. Looks to be the same board manufacturer. Anyway, into here. So, what have we got? I think it's exactly the same, but this one, mppt version 8, 2129. Some lovely Chongx brand capacitors. Oh god, I've got to pick up this other board, haven't I? The one that's covering everything in, what brand were they? I don't know, they've done a good job making sure every blooming capacitor is in such a way that you can't read it. I believe the old ones, I don't know what brand they are, but they're 270 volts, or 250 volt, 470 nanofarad, or microfarad, not sure. probably microfarad. And these ones, the Chong X ones, VEHT, not sure. Once again, stuck down in such a way that you can't actually read them. It's not very handy. Here you've got the same capacitor that didn't get any goop. 3 inductors. Grab him back. Put him next door. See if we can visibly see anything that's changed. I'm not putting that down on the table like that. So, there we are, there's a side by side. Can we see anything different other than the capacitors have changed? No, I'm not seeing it. I'm guessing they're using this as our programming header here. It's just a header with pins. And they don't plug into anything, so they must be using that to program the firmware into them. Yeah, no difference at all. Yeah, it's a shame that I haven't actually got a 40 amp, because I'd really like to actually see what the difference was, but I made a mistake, and I've probably ended up buying a charge controller I didn't need, but here's what it is. Yeah, I shan't bother taking this one out of its case, because based on what we can see, they're exactly the same. Okay, let's put them back together, power them up and see if I can power them up and see if there's any difference. Something I'm interested in what brand of fans we're using. They are YH-XQF XQFKJ.com. DC brushless. This is 24 volt, 100 milliamps. It does half make a bit of a roar when they get going. They're not the quietest fans by any means, but I don't know if they're good quality or not. Anyway, let's go back in facing the other way around, because I'd just like to see it drawing air into the casing and blowing it through the electronics and out the sides and cooling that way. I don't know. I mean, these things didn't really ever get that hot anyway, even under good load. So, oh well. We try and see what happens. And if you're wondering when all this stuff goes back together, these are actually keyed connectors, so you can't get it the wrong way around. You can try. This one you get the wrong way around, but the ribbon cable literally comes and it doesn't fold over. So if you fold it over, you're doing it wrong. There we are. One brand new charge controller back together. Save the other one and then power up. Right, now we're going to fire them both up. And ignore the wiring colours used. Heavily ignore the fact that green is live and yellow green is also ground, which doesn't make any sense. Anyway, we need to go through and set the new one up to work with the 24 volt battery and the voltage thresholds, which I decided to go with. So I'll have to remember from the manual how it all worked and what I've set everything at. Well, actually we can just make one match the other, can't we? Because I'm happy with the way the old one's working. But so we get the new one to do the same. They can both contribute. Both fans work. Now, did you manage to notice what the firmware was on? I don't even know. Yeah, so you saw it that time. Nice, lights on. Right, they're both awake. Now we're going to go through the general setup process of these. So, what we need to do is set up the into the sub interface. Alright, the load timer I'm not using, the floating voltage of the battery, the absorption voltage of the battery, low voltage disconnecting the battery type. So entirely, so it's 14.4 volt. And the floating voltage wants to be 13.8. Now, even if you've got a 48 volt lead acid battery system, then it doesn't matter, it works off one cell at a time. It will detect the voltage by, well, detect how many batteries you've got by the voltage. So, go to program, we want to go to D01. Up. The old one is set at 13.8. So we go to the new one. You see the screens go darker once you leave them for a while. So you don't love that brightness all the time. So yeah, he's already set on 13.8. DO2 absorption voltage 14.5. That one's on 14.2. Probably going to pop that up because it's a sealed lead acid battery. Actually no, it should be 14.4. Maybe we are wrong. Yeah, so it's going to let me jump between 43 and 14.5, so we've got to give him 14.5. And sorry, you need to get into there. So yeah, we go up. Oh, this one will actually let you do it in steps, so this one's better. And you enter that, and that's it. Right, so when it boots up you get to this screen. Very simply, it just tells you what's going on. So the PV array is at the 0 volts and its wattage it's putting into the batteries is 0 volts. Watts, sorry. Tells you the battery voltage is 20.6, and here it will also tell you the amps that it's putting into the battery. Output is in 3. So what it's telling you there is its working mode is 3, night mode, no charging. 4 MPT, 7 absorption, 8 floating mode. So we go one more, sorry, the other way. Comes with a fault for 18. It's probably telling us that there's no solar panels connected or something daft. I don't know what the fault numbers are, it probably tells you in the book. 18, input PV voltage is low. So yeah, that's why we had that one. Battery types. Right, so yeah, DO4. It shows 0, 0 is default for acid batteries. If it's for different battery, long press enter until the numbers flash. Put up, down, choose number 1, long press enter to confirm it. Step 2, DO1 is not useful when choose it. For lithium battery. Step 3, blah blah blah. You probably have to understand it a bit more and probably read the manual if you're going to use a lithium battery. We aren't. Why they are? Oh, my body wiring has fallen apart. Yeah, just go through one more time, just double check that I've got everything. That's the fans when they run in full whack. They don't do that very often. So yeah, DO1 13.8. Make sure we're doing this on both. You might be able to see both of them if you're careful. Alright. DO1 13.8. DO2 14.5. 10, doesn't matter. Battery type DO4, this one's set to 1. We need to sort that out. Set it to 0. There it is, it's confirmed. Now I want to just check, because the old manual was very hard to work this out. They made it a bit confusing for finding your battery types, but I imagine it stayed, yes, exactly the inside of the manual is exactly the same as the old one. It's about the only confusing part, but if you actually read the manual, it makes good sense. So that's it. Side by side, there is not really a lot of difference. There's that difference on the circuit board saying it's a version 8 rather than a version whatever it was, 7. Yeah, so this comes out with the same 133 firmware on these, but everyone seems to think that makes the Make Sky Blue's got a newer firmware, but in fact it's a completely different circuit board. You couldn't have the same firmware, it simply wouldn't work. Right, that's about all I can show you with these until they're wired up and both cranking away. Next slide.